Well, Gerald, you are from the upper Midwest. Is that
Quad
true?
Cities, actually, yeah.
Which one of the Quad Cities?
All of them. I'm a Quad City Rambler, Bettendorf, Moline. No mention for East Moline. Oh, really? Oh, there's 4? We can't put a 5th one in there?
Well, then it'd be the Quint Cities.
Right.
Okay, who's starting?
You.
Me? Okay.
Me saying I was willing to lead it was only if you weren't there.
Oh.
Not if you're here.
Hello, welcome to Hard Caucus, episode 95. My name is Justin, and I'm joined tonight by my friends Evan, Stella, and Natalie.
Hey.
Glad to be here, friends.
I trust we're all drinking our favorite Exile Brewery product, Phoenix Sour or Ruthie.
Nope. I am drinking water tonight because I am
protest.
a good boy.
Yeah.
Actually, yes, in protest of the anti-homeless Exile Brewery.
Yeah.
Stella got fancy water with bubbles in it.
Yeah, I have a LaCroix, and also I'm pregnant, so I can't drink beer, but just a big fuck you to Exile Brewery going out at the top of the episode for their owner's recent anti-homeless neighbor stance in front of the Des Moines City Council. So please join our Rock Hard Caucus boycott of Exile Brewery.
Yeah, we're leading the charge.
Justin is the spear.
Justin, as a teetotaler, has been looking for an opportunity to bring prohibition back to the state of Iowa, and here we go.
I don't think I ever actually watched the video of that lady and what she actually said. I just thought it was funny that everyone was getting mad.
You might
and I read the statement that they put out. That was pretty funny.
The statement is ridiculous. You might consider playing it. It's not super long. I mean, she's just obviously deranged. Just like...
Yeah.
We are undermining all the good that the homeless shelter is doing by allowing these people to come and get breakfast and dinner, a hot meal, and you can see the pictures of them all lined up, drugged out, passed out, and then I call and say, are there beds available? Yes, ma'am, there are beds available. She says, but you can't come on the first night, and you can't come on the second night. We have rules.
She's like, is it legal to camp in the city?
That's how she starts.
And she, first of all, calls this the Ritz-Carlton of homeless shelters. Which is absolutely, well, first of all, there is no Ritz-Carlton of homeless shelters. If you're in a homeless shelter, then it is, I mean, it's just, and then also she says that you should not be allowed to eat if you are an addict.
Yeah.
So it's like next level genocidal type shit. It's like kind of almost goes beyond like the usual anti-homelessness stuff, and like it just nauseates me for someone who is part of the problem as a person who owns a brewery and gets the community drunk, standing in front of a bunch of other people who are also part of the problem because they don't provide affordable housing for the community. So it's just like a drug dealer standing in front of a like council of people who have created the problem in the first place for everyone to bitch about the problem.
Her clientele have homes, though. It's different.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I've read studies that say the best way to recover from addiction is to also starve yourself.
Oh, yeah, it's so true.
If your stomach is completely empty, that the detoxification process is accelerated. That's what I've read.
You need less drugs when you have an empty stomach. So, honestly... Yeah, it's just so fucked up. She portrays like the homeless services organization in Des Moines, which is not perfect by any means, but basically as enablers, allowing people with addiction to continue to live is enablement. So.
Yeah, and then the statement they release that's like, get a load of all these stories these anecdotal stories we've collected about homeless people nearby. And it's like just doubling down. It's like they could at least they have like a philanthropic arm, like someone pointed out, and they have done absolutely nothing for any homeless people.
Give a big donation to homeless services and apologize. It's not that fucking hard.
Absolutely.
It's like the statement was so bad, just like doubling down, like showing that the son also believes the exact same things that the mother was saying, like, because I didn't have any reason to think he should get the benefit of the doubt, but I was like, okay, like maybe he feels differently. But it's not the case. It's just like absolutely doubling down on the anti-houseless folks rhetoric in a community that is already extremely cruel to houseless people and provides no warming centers in the winter. And the last 2 years, someone has frozen to death both years outside. That's the community this is in. And she is stoking violence and fear and hatred against our houseless community here in Des Moines. It's disgusting.
Plus, the statement was like 2 pages long, and it's like, who do you think's going to read that other than people who are going to yell at you?
Yeah, it's stupid. It's like a notes app apology. Like just loser shit all around.
Yeah, all the weird right wingers that you attracted definitely didn't read the statement. They were just there to get mad at people getting mad.
Isn't her solution a drunk tank too? Like that's what she asked the cops. And the experts on the situation, and they're like, we need a drunk tank. That'll really solve this.
I just think she just wanted them to disappear. Yeah. And just disappear. Just go somewhere else. Which is, I guess, usually the business owner response, right?
Yeah, remove them from my site because they're hurting my business, basically. I did see a houseless person once take a shit in the Exile parking lot, and
that was cool.
Yeah, honestly, like solidarity. Good. I'm glad.
It's got to go somewhere.
Yeah, it's fine.
Fuck Exile. Yeah. They refuse to provide any public bathrooms downtown. That has been a big point of contention at city council meetings, is that they will not provide public bathrooms and will not require people constructing parks to provide public bathrooms. It's just, I don't know. It's just extremely fucked up.
Yeah. Fuck Exile.
I got this email here in my inbox. The subject line says, "Yup, it's really me."
Wow. Joseph Dobrian again?
There's a weird picture at the top of a man made of clay, it looks like.
I have the email pulled up too, and it's extremely funny to see from Evan forward. Yup, it's really me. You're forwarding your terrible email stuff.
My secret identity that you didn't know about.
His email. Fucked up email forward guy.
Rest in peace to my grandfather. He was a fucked up email forward guy.
Did you get a lot from him?
I used to.
I like the ones back in the day that were like, forward this and Bill Gates will send you like $1,000 or whatever.
Oh my God, the chain mail. Or I always got chain prayers from my grandma, forwarding an Irish prayer to get good luck after death or something. I don't fucking know.
Anyway, the me mentioned in Yup, It's Really Me. That's it's Al Franken, disgraced former comedian. Oh, and U.S. Senator.
Yeah, I don't think the comedian part is the disgrace. I think he's probably... Actually, I don't even know what is Al Franken doing these days.
I saw that he guest hosted Jimmy Kimmel's Late Show a while back.
He's trying to make a comeback and maybe run for office again. And if he wants to do that, I would say he needs to start doing his due diligence before he ties his already besmirched name to the coattails of any Democrats, especially those that share his last name.
Oh, this is a Mike Franken email featuring Al Franken.
Wow.
What an interesting choice. Why would you want this guy who like resigned in disgrace to be pictured at the top of this email going to your campaign list?
Yeah, that's interesting.
Well, why was Al Franken disgraced? What happened? Why did he resign from the Senate?
He just had too much fun. He's a fun-loving guy. He's a comedian. Like, people like comedy like is illegal now. You can't do it.
He just loved honkers. I don't know what to tell you. He just loved them too much.
When he was supporting the troops on USO tours, yeah, he might have groped a few women. He might have been involved in some non-consensual touching. But you know what? We gotta fight terrorism.
It is like funny how in the context of the like recent discourse, how much everyone misremembers what actually happened with Al Franken.
Yeah.
I have it pulled up right now, and all anyone remembers is the sleeping soldier honkers photo, when really there was like a barrage of allegations. Several additional women came forward with allegations of inappropriate behavior during photo ops. Oh my God, his quote is so fucked up. I never saw it.
Oh, yeah.
I've met tens of thousands of people and taken thousands of photographs, often in crowded and chaotic situations. It was just so crowded and chaotic that I groped her butt. I don't know what to do. I'm a warm person. I hug people. I've learned from recent stories that in some of those encounters, I crossed a line for some women, and I know that any number is too many. Ew. He held the side of her breast for 5 to 10 seconds while posing for a photograph, and then gave another woman a wet, open-mouthed kiss.
They had to include wet as an adjective. It couldn't just be an open mouth kiss.
When I get nervous, I gotta grab a tit. I'm sorry. Like, that's how I cope.
I'm sorry that my mom breastfed me, and now it's
That's my attachment style.
That's my love language.
It's just like the reason he's like, you know, toying with the idea of a comeback is that he had to resign during the like onset of the Me Too movement, and now there's this huge backlash to Me Too that we're seeing with like fucking Johnny Depp and all these people who are just like, the woke mob has gone too far. Women have too much power. Like, you can't really, he never really got canceled. He's still living in his mansion with all his money, but that's not enough.
I have a better Al Franken statement. This one was in 2019. The idea that anybody who accuses someone of something is always right, that's not the case. That isn't reality.
Don't believe women. Yep.
Thank you, Al Franken.
Yep.
Thank you.
All right, so he's using his image to support Mike Franken, who's running for Senate here in Iowa, despite being, I mean, there's some baggage there. Whether you are like a freak liberal who thinks that Al Franken should be reinstated or not, like, it's definitely a bit of a risk to use him in your campaign emails, right?
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, he could go back into comedy, no problem, right? But he's choosing to go back into politics. Is anyone in the comedy world really going to give a shit about anything Al Franken has done?
No, he toured last year, it said. He went on a 15-city tour. So, like, he's fine. He can go back to his fucking old career. What the fuck? You're not entitled
he can be on SNL again.
to be a senator.
Mike Franken knows his base, though. They're the type of liberals, type of Democrats that want Al Franken back in the Senate and miss him in the Senate.
Yep, and blame Kristen Gillibrand, or however you say her name.
Yeah.
Because she was like kind of the most publicly asking him to resign. I remember that, yeah. There people were pissed at her for ridiculous reasons.
Absurd.
What I meant is that it's a risk for Mike Franken. You know, it seems like that's kind of a liability. And Well, right after these campaign materials started coming out featuring Al Franken, something else came out about
literally the same
Mike
day.
Franken.
Something happened that made me think that the candidate wanted to link the two in people's minds, because one of them is the wronged, besmirched, canceled politician. And I think that they did this intentionally, knowing that this was going to come out. I mean, I'm not positive, but
Wow.
that kind of makes sense of you're wanting to associate the Frankens in your head, because all of the kind of liberals who would stay behind you are going to think of you like Al Franken as a man who was wronged because all he did was pretend to grab some honkers.
I was thinking about it the other way, but your way makes sense too.
What is the way you're thinking about?
Like somebody, as a result of him using, brazenly using Al Franken in his campaign ads, someone who had knowledge of this police report out there was like, okay, well, now's the right time to drop this bomb.
Spoiler, Justin.
Yeah, no one listening knows what we're talking about already.
I think it makes sense either way. Honestly, I think Natalie might be right, because it does seem like something that they might do to try to come out in front of it if they knew that it was going to be a story breaking shortly.
That's fucking sick. God, I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, it is very cynical, but what are we known for on this podcast?
I mean, every angle, every way that this plays out is revolting. Mm-hmm. So I think that both are likely and both are really gross.
Right.
Yeah.
Is someone saw this email and was like, what the fuck? And then also they sent this email because they're trying to make him seem like similarly ruined by a vengeful woman.
Yeah.
Don't make the same mistake twice. Don't let a Franken be ruined by a woman he molested.
Because typically, if when something hits a journalist's desk before they publish it, they're going to ask the alleged culprit for a quote or something like that. So that does make sense. Yeah, perpetrator the day of
culprit.
Typically the Franken in trouble.
You've got the Iowa field report up in front of you, right, Natalie?
Yeah.
Did they seek comment from Mike? Yeah.
I did not actually read the Iowa field report article, so I don't know if they asked.
Well, they are not real
see.
Journalists.
Yeah. I think they kind of might not have asked because they probably might have figured out what the answer would be in advance. But I don't think, I know Franken has made he's made some statement, hasn't he?
I remember I know the Register asked him about it, and he just said straight up, this is false.
It looks like they said that they did reach out for comment and didn't receive any comment.
Okay.
So that kind of begs the question, when did they contact Al Franken? Did they contact him that day and he was ready to go?
There was stuff out there before that email, because I remember seeing tweets about both of them. He recorded a video or something a couple weeks before.
Al Franken was already in his corner before this came out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I feel like I saw it too. So I have the police report in front of me. Do you want me to read it to you guys?
Yeah, I think we should preface this by saying most of the response you've seen from people on Twitter talking about this are people who did not bother looking into this at all, I think. So
yeah.
And I don't really blame people for not knowing all the details here, but we should just lay it all out explicitly. What
people were
what
fixating on unfounded because that was what was written in the Des Moines Register. But again, they didn't say what was unfounded or why that word was used.
And the basis of the Iowa field report story is this police report. They were reporting on the existence of this police report. A lot of people online too, Al Franken defenders, were coming to, they thought the posts and criticisms was about Mike Franken.
Yes.
Everyone was very confused about it.
maybe that was part of the strategy too, is like once you introduce another Franken, people are just going to not even know who they're talking about now. It's just muddying the waters so much.
Yeah, it might be a legitimate strategy. I did just search for Al Franken in my inbox, and I have like other stuff. I have stuff from The Nation in 2019. Was Al Franken railroaded? It's a Jeet Here article. Anyway, it says the evidence only partially exonerates the former senator, whose lack of contrition contributed to his downfall.
Yeah. Tell us what's in the police report.
Okay, so this incident occurred in March. And because we are a legitimate news source that did their due diligence, we did reach out to the victim in this case to see if she was interested in coming on. And she was very nice, but was not interested, which is completely understandable because I also would not do it.
I would not talk to me.
I would not personally, if it were me. I mean, if I was going to talk to anyone, it would be like a dirtbag podcast, but like I wouldn't talk to anyone. But I just thought that we should actually read the report aloud because I think that there are a lot of people who are saying stuff is in it and not in it that, you know, I think it's important to just know what the actual facts are. So the incident occurred in March of this year and was reported to the police in April. So it was investigated by Lady Police Officer Abby Giampolo. And the investigation narrative is as follows. So on 4/12, I was given information to contact Kimberly, who is the victim in this case, regarding contact with Franken that she felt was inappropriate. It is redacted, but I think that we can, infer. I called her that day and we spoke over the phone. Kimberly provided information and an account of what had happened. Kimberly stated she worked for Franken on his campaign in 2019 through 2020 when she was his campaign manager. She stated that Franken has attended her family gatherings and authored her children's birthday parties over the years. I forgot how many different losing campaigns she worked on. Kimberly recently began working for Franken again on his current campaign for Senate. She stated that at the end of February 2022, he hired a new campaign manager who then fired the current campaign manager as well as Kimberly. She stated when she was let go, Kimberly was asked to sign a separation agreement in which she agreed not to make any disparaging remarks against Franken or his campaign. She stated at the time she was not aware of any issues that Franken or his campaign was attempting to keep her from speaking about. After being terminated, Franken contacted Kimberly and asked if she would meet with him. She agreed, and they had a three-way call with Franken's campaign manager, Maddie Leahy Blank. It was arranged for Kimberly and Franken to meet at the Dam Pub for drinks on 3/18/22 at 1900. Kimberly stated she met with Franken at the bar. They spoke about the campaign, and he told Kimberly he was unhappy with his current campaign manager. He asked her to rejoin his campaign in a senior advisory role. Kimberly stated that Franken was scheduled to travel to D.C., and they agreed they would talk more about the position when he returned. He then paid for the 2 drinks they consumed, and he and Kimberly left the bar. Kimberly stated she had parked her vehicle across the street at the Ace Hardware parking lot, and Franken was parked on Beaver Avenue. As they were walking to their cars, Kimberly stated they continued to talk about work topics. She stated Franken then grabbed the collar of the vest she was wearing and kissed her on her mouth. Kimberly pulled away from this and stated that Franken stopped the contact and walked away without saying anything further. Kimberly stated when she got to her vehicle, she called Maddie and told her that Franken had kissed her. She stated Maddie asked what had been decided about Kimberly's job, and she told Maddie that Franken had asked her to rejoin the campaign. Kimberly then left the area and stated she didn't tell anyone else what had occurred. What is up with that chick for just being like, but are you, but what's up with you?
What about the job?
Yeah. He seals most of
all
his
about the
business
campaign.
agreements with a kiss. So
I think she was
news.
primarily calling you about the kiss thing, not the
Yeah.
job thing. Kimberly stated on 4/4, she received a text message from Maddie, which contained a picture showing Franken holding his cell phone in a call sheet. Kimberly described that call sheets used on the campaign contained potential donors' names, information, and approximate amount they may donate. Kimberly stated the message from Maddie was Franken was about to call Kimberly's wife Becky. It is notable that Franken is aware both that she is married and that she is a lesbian. That part is my editorial. I think obviously not the
lady cop didn't throw that in.
Kimberly stated she was with Becky when her phone rang and it was Franken calling. Becky answered the phone on speakerphone and Kimberly stated she heard Franken begin speaking. Kimberly stated Franken mentioned that he and Becky were both Democrats and began to ask for a donation. At that point, Becky told Franken she no longer supported him and disconnected the call. Kimberly stated after this phone call that Becky made a post on Twitter with negative comments about politicians, understandably. Kimberly stated in the post Becky called Franken by name and commented that he had fired Kimberly and then called Becky to ask for money. Kimberly stated approximately 2.5 hours later, Franken called her and asked her to have Becky remove the posts. Kimberly, that's bold.
Yeah.
Kimberly
Doubly
stated,
bold to ask her money first, and then when she gets understandably pissed.
Fucking douchebag. God. I mean, none of that is like criminal, but like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Like, you.
Yeah.
Becky,
He
can
really
you
thinks he's
chip
done
in
nothing wrong.
$5?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You really
Well, it's
just
just like even if he had no, it just like goes to show he can work so closely with someone and then just not retain the name of their spouse. Like he had to be doing it
No, he knew.
in some way spitefully, right? Like politicians have to remember people's names and their spouses and stuff like that. So
I have the tweets here from Kimberly's wife.
read the tweets.
Okay. All right. This is the first one. So this afternoon, after contributing $5 to minimize emails, and after he fired my wife, I get a call from @Franken for Iowa himself asking for money. If you ever needed a reminder how tone-deaf, socially unaware, and whorish politicians are, let this be it. #IASEN.
Hell yeah, Becky.
I question the wisdom of donating $5 to get less emails, but
Yeah, that's
other than
not
that,
gonna work.
I don't think that's a good strategy.
And I do not think that, I mean, sex work is work. So I resent the use of her use of whorish, but
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, he didn't give you anything. He wasn't giving you anything like that in return for political donations.
no,
so.
he's the worst. He's not going to do
Not
shit.
very whorish of him.
yeah, not even going to get anything out of it.
Yeah.
Kimberly stated after this incident, she told Becky about Franken kissing her when leaving the bar. She stated Becky was upset and suggested she reported the incident to police. Kimberly stated that on 4/1/11, the day prior to our conversation, Franken team contacted her lawyer. Kimberly stated she had reposted Becky's comments about Franken, and his team advised her lawyer that it was a violation of the non-disclosure she signed when she was terminated. Kimberly stated she did remove her post after that. She also stated on 4/11 she sent a text message to Maddie telling her that she was considering making a police report in reference to Franken kissing her. She stated Maddie did not seem comfortable with the conversation and she was unsure if she would tell Franken or his team. So he was aware. As Kimberly described Franken kissing her, she commented that this is something he has done to several other women. Kimberly stated that Franken has 1950s interactions with women, states that she believes he thinks kissing and hugging women is part of his charm. Kimberly stated that Franken is old school and has displayed these behaviors with many women. I asked Kimberly if she felt that Franken did these things in an aggressive or sexual manner, and she stated no. So this is a thing that bothers me a little bit, is like the reason that men do things like this is it's like a way to show dominance over someone. It's a way to show you can do whatever you want to them. It's a way to show it doesn't matter if they're married or a lesbian or whatever, that they don't have a right to control what happens to their bodies, and just a way to show that you have power over someone else. And stating that it's not sexual, like what they mean by that, I believe, is that she does not think it's going to lead to a sexual assault.
Yeah.
But that doesn't make it acceptable. That doesn't make it not an abuse of power. And I think something that people don't understand when something like this happens to you, it destabilizes everything that came before and came after, because you are going to constantly question, did I just get this position because he was attracted to me? Was I actually worthy? And then did I keep the position because he was attracted to me? Did he just always want to do this? Was I ever worth hiring? Did they ever really mean anything nice they said about my work? Did my work ever matter? You're just constantly wondering about everything that came before. Did I do something wrong? Did I do something suggestive? Did I, it fucks up everything before and after. And then after, you are always going to be tense with that person, because now at any moment you could be physically, like, you could have something sexual happen to you. And that can be really scary and make you feel really uncomfortable all the time, even if the actual kiss is just a couple moments. That's my little rant about that. Okay, sorry.
Also, 1950s attitude. He was born in 1957, and he has portrayed himself as this.
What the fuck are you talking about?
He is portrayed himself as this champion of women's rights and women's rights to autonomy over their bodies, and just so fucked up. My question is, can an NDA be enforceable?
He just has an old-fashioned view of how to interact with women.
He's doing Joe Biden shit.
Yeah, I mean,
Biden's at the top of the party. You can act like Biden. That's a winning strategy.
Google AFRICOM sexual assault and see what the leaders of AFRICOM, how seriously they took that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not really out of line with anything we know about Mike Franken. As much as Democrats don't want to hear that.
Yeah, I just learned about... So he's a Navy man, right? So I just learned, maybe you guys had already heard about this, but in the 90s, there was this big scandal around, what was it called? Tail something. It was this annual Navy party. They always knew it was raucous. The hotel always knew that the Navy members, the seamen, and all the officers were going to cause thousands of dollars of damage to their hotel every year and still let them host it. But they had this thing called the gauntlet on the third floor of the hotel, where anytime a woman walked by, they would basically sexually assault them. They would pull their clothes off, grab their bodies, and the year that they got caught for it, they did it to more than 70 women and several men who walked through the third floor of this hotel. So it was a, time-honored tradition. Was Michael Franken in the hall?
Yeah, I mean, he was in the Navy.
I mean, all of this behavior is so condoned and so
tail
part
hook.
of it that it's hard to believe that he wouldn't be,
Yeah.
Tail hook scandal. Mike
Okay.
Franken.
Or at least something similar,
Is there more in the police report?
Just a little bit more. It says, I asked Kimberly what she would like to see done with this information, and she stated she wants Franken to admit what he did and change his behavior. Mm-hmm. She also stated she wished to file a police report and pursue an investigation. I informed Kimberly I would begin looking into the case, blah, blah, blah. And they basically just said that, they weren't going to pursue it any further than this, and we're closing it. But it is telling, I think, that she says all she wants is this to be on the record, and for him to stop. She never said I'm filing this. So, whatever. It's just she told the police, I'm filing this report because I want it to be on the record and I want for him to stop doing this.
Yeah. There aren't a lot of benefits when you go to the police and tell your story.
No.
Other than that. Yeah. And then they just chose not
As
to
you see
investigate
here,
it.
yeah, they just shrug it off.
Yeah.
They didn't even talk to Franken himself.
Yep.
Or Maddie, did they? Did they ask her to confirm that call? Yeah.
No, they did nothing. So basically they just had a conversation with the assistant Polk County attorney, and said because there was no sexual intent on his part.
Which means he didn't use his genitals, right?
Yeah.
You have to use your genitals in Iowa to demonstrate sexual intent.
Yeah, it's very weird because it just allows this stuff to continue, to make people feel scared at work, to make people feel uncomfortable, to make people feel they're, truly the way this makes you feel as a professional, makes you question everything. And like, why did I get this job in the first place? Did he just want me? And now it's like this, what feels like one kiss is like infecting your entire life. And I'm not trying to put words in her mouth because I have no idea what her experience was with this, but I just wanted to say that to say like why this is really important and why it like really matters that people don't do shit like this, because it like will worm its way into your brain and make you question your worthiness, and then also make you always on edge forever about like what could happen to you.
Yeah, it's all about power and control.
And there's no recourse. Like, she went to the campaign, she went to the police. It's not like you can go to the HR manager of the campaign and file a complaint, They're not going to do anything. So, I mean, I think she really did the only thing she could. And, like, even regardless of any criminal stuff, like, it's absolutely unprofessional. It's absolutely something that we should not condone of anyone in any position of power. Like,
and
simple.
if she speaks to the media now, she could be sued because of the NDA. So it's like she's
which he claims
silenced.
does not exist.
Yeah,
he claims that she's not actually under any sort of NDA and she can say whatever she wants. In which case, why was he like demanding a tweet be deleted?
Yeah, it's really weird and like extremely sloppy. And also, it's like we are considering you for a public promotion. Like, no one is saying that you should go to prison for this. Like, people have a sense of perspective, but we are saying, like, we should really think about whether this is the kind of behavior that we will tolerate from men in power and whether we should give them more power now that we know about it. Like, it's just like, it makes me so angry when people act like denying a man a promotion is the same thing as throwing him in Alcatraz. Like it's just like, no, like this is not like a cancellation. This is just like, let's take this in the context of what we know.
Yeah. And people get fired for that kind of stuff every day.
He is not professional.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Are you kidding me? People get fired all the fucking time for doing this kind of shit. Like, a private company would not tolerate this, or usually doesn't, as long as it like.
Well,
it depends on how big.
It depends on how big the company is.
Who gets caught?
That too.
Yeah. But truly, like, it's like consequences exist for people all the time, and we're not like no one even is saying he should get fired. We're just not sure that he should necessarily be allowed to legislate if he has these quote unquote 1950s attitudes towards women. How far does that descend, by the way? If you have 1950s attitudes towards whether you're allowed to touch women without their permission, where do you think about their place in the world and what kinds of opportunities they should have, what kinds of resources they should be allowed, what kinds of programs we should support? Just like, it just reflects such a deep, fucked up psyche.
And there's so many comments of guys being like, well, I hug my granddaughter. Do you think that I'm a monster?
Yes.
It's not the same thing.
What the fuck does this have to do with your
That's the same as grabbing a woman and kissing her forcibly on the mouth.
Yeah.
That's the same as like tapping a child on the head.
Yeah. Of calling your relative sweetie. It's equivocal.
Yep.
Same
because
punishment.
the obvious answer is they empathize more with Franken than they do with Kimberly. I mean,
yeah, that's a good point.
Because they've probably done similar stuff. I mean, that's like the obvious line, but
or
like
want to reserve the right to.
It's definitely a thing.
Not have to think about it too hard.
This police report is a public record, but nobody, the larger public at least, were not aware of it until Iowa Field Report released this article last week. It's not totally clear like who tipped them off to it, but Iowa Field Report is a right-wing rag. Is it Luke Martz? Is that the guy's name?
I think so.
He's a guy that we had just made fun of for his student loan forgiveness article in the Register like a couple episodes ago. But he runs that website. He's dumb as dog shit, but so that article was released for the purpose of damaging the Franken campaign, obviously.
Correct.
But it's based on a police report of a real call that his former campaign manager made. Like, I'm just like trying to combat the defenses that all these people have been coming out with. Like, oh, this was intended to hurt his campaign, but like that wasn't the intent of the police report. Like this is not a woman who wants Chuck Grassley to be in the Senate for another 100 years.
No, absolutely not. She's like mega lib brains. And And like what she told the police is she just wants them to take it seriously and stop doing it.
Right. It should matter that he did that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, like someone please acknowledge and witness that this happened to me, and hopefully if like this is out there, then he will not do this to people in the future. So that is the like actual facts of the case. But there's a lot going on here that I really want to talk about. That is like a little bit deeper and bigger than just the facts. And I think it's important to establish like what he did was wrong. Here is why. It matters in the Senate race, and we should take it seriously. And she was a victim of someone assaulting her. Like she is a victim, and I believe her. And I, even in light of the information that I'm going to tell you next, I actually think it further corroborates her account, even though it's crazy.
Yeah. Yep.
Because
I think, look, people are saying like, oh, she's just lying because like she was a fired campaign manager. She's a disgruntled ex-employee. But like, if this woman was really lying about Mike Franken assaulting her, do you think that would be what she lied about? That he kissed her?
Yeah.
She would make up something way more salacious. Come on.
The details of it,
Yes.
I'm not saying it was mild or that it was appropriate.
No, it's still awful. But
exactly, yeah. And why would what benefit does she get?
Yeah, there's zero
out of this?
reasons to doubt that she has zero reason to lie. And
this is an accusation that any reasonable person would understand the police are not going to do anything about this story.
yeah, it's all, and just, and like I said, also extremely believable. Like there's nothing.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
this kind of thing happens to people every day. And honestly, I think this is a really smart strategy. Like, obviously, I hate the police, but if you're trying to figure out what the fuck can I do so that this guy is like, stops being such an asshole, like maybe if we put it in writing with someone officially, then he'll take it a little bit more seriously. Like you're in kind of a tough position there. And I understand why that's the call. It sounds like that is what her wife really wanted her to do too, which I also understand. You know, she was understandably livid and wanted her to file a report. And so, you know, I just like, I completely understand the mindset that gets you there. I don't understand the mindset that gets some of her other behavior. And I want to be able to talk about the other things that she was doing and why it doesn't make her less of a victim and why it's important that we defend even that God gives his battles to even his craziest soldiers. So the issue with Kimberly that I didn't know at the time when I reached out to her actually is that she is I think that she has both perpetuated a system that is misogynistic and hurts women and then has also been a victim of it. So she was Bill Gray's campaign manager, absolute loser. Like
that's the guy that Indira beat this guy. Yeah.
Yes. Indira beat this guy. And she has clearly been salty about that ever since. And Indira took some time off this spring from her job because she was having mental health struggles and also had COVID. And this woman made a Facebook group asking, where is Indira? And that is harassment. It is ableist. It is misogynist. It is sexist. It is her hurting other women in the system that will end up hurting her later. Like she is targeting Indira. It's cruel. It's fucked up. And it makes me so angry when someone participates willingly in the system until the system hurts them and it's them that's assaulted and it's them that's suffering from these things. And then they, you know, it's like,
I think timeline wise, she would have been pursuing this like Indira harassment thing after the Franken kiss incident.
Yeah. I'm just saying, like, she's clearly like a complicated person, and it makes me angry that she would participate in a harassment campaign against a Black woman who was suffering while she is also now turning around and, you know, I don't know, not turning around. I don't know how to say what I'm trying to say here, but the point is I feel like she's a complicated person who has hurt other women and is also hurt.
Yeah. And I do think the people who were or have been kind of rallying to her defense and trying to support her and say, like, these are the facts in the case and what happened was inappropriate and wrong, even though we don't want Chuck Grassley to reign for another 100 years, as Justin put it, like, these are leftist voices that are saying what happened was wrong versus the liberals she seems to court or align with.
Yeah. Well, I think people coming at this from our position also understand that Grassley winning this election is kind of a foregone conclusion.
Yes. Yeah, I don't think it really makes a difference.
There will be a Senator Grassley from Iowa as long as there is a state of Iowa.
Yeah, when we are Chuck Grassley's current age, Chance Grassley is going to be our senator.
God.
Wow, I do not ever want to be Chuck Grassley's age. So
we will be long dead.
Hopefully I never
and
see that.
Grassley's will continue. Grassley's always grow under the Iowa sun.
The next development in this story is that Kimberly Bogus is a bit of a troll. And we were tipped off to an alt account that she has been running. I think it's
Allegedly.
really funny. Allegedly.
Yeah, I don't think we have like completely conclusive evidence, but everything points to it being her, including the fact that it's now been deleted.
Yes, at the same time that her Twitter was deleted. Multiple people have told me that this person is her, but I'm not going to say who those people are. Just like for privacy and stuff, but I think it's like pretty reasonable to believe so. And also I think that this troll account, as awful as some of the things she says are, like absolutely corroborates her account because
I thought you were going to say like, as one troll to another, game recognizes game.
I think that it corroborates her account because she doesn't start harassing Franken on Twitter until after the date of the kiss, which was pretty funny because there's screenshots of her like talking shit to Franken for Iowa, but all of them are dated after the kiss. So she clearly got mad and started trolling him. But there's some just like extremely heinous shit.
Yeah, and this is an account that you may have seen if you are, in our circles, because I was familiar with it prior to this. It's at Stella G 420-86948.
No relation.
I was worried that someone would think it was you, Stella.
I was too. Definitively, it is not. Still unclear if Al and Mike Franken are related, though. Maybe the same person.
This individual loves to use AAVE. She loves to say sister. And who gives a shit about his service status? He ain't no Iowan. We all know it. To Mike Franken on June 16th, this person said, "Look at me, I have a little penis."
That was in reply to him challenging Chuck Grassley to like a shooting contest. I remember that one.
That's
I saw that when it was posted. I remember that Stella G tweet.
And she posted a picture of her Franken for U.S. Senate sign in the trash in May at the local dump where it belongs. In May, when she tweeted, "It's a God-given right. We should have someone we love as a partner in life." That's an odd tweet. Okay. And she said, "Don't you have a side piece?" Which is that's an interesting accusation.
Yeah.
Unbalanced, her resume reads like the greatest pits of political losers. So that's for the new campaign manager.
That's such projection, too.
Yeah.
When I first Googled the name of the woman that Franken assaulted, the first result was her introducing who was the Maryland guy who ran for president in 2016 as a Democrat?
Martin O'Malley.
She was introducing Martin O'Malley at a campaign event in Iowa.
She knows how to pick them.
That went really well.
Yeah.
Oh, so you show up here, Justin.
I remember
you can
this
tell
one,
what
I
era
think.
it is. Yeah. So in the OPE thread,
Yeah.
she talks
Yes.
shit about Amber Gusson, because she's fucking ableist as hell. And then
I
Indira
actually blocked that account because of that reply.
Yeah, I think
where
Amber
she
went
was
off
making
on
fun
her
of,
too.
Yeah, she was
Yeah.
making fun of Amber's like mental health stuff in that thread where she got mad at me.
which is fucked up. Like clearly this woman is like has extremely negative views of disabled people, and also based on her treatment of Indira and her use of AAVE, that she is clearly racist as fuck. She is a Jalen hater. It's fucked up.
Yeah.
Indira tweeted that someone was given a panhandling ticket and she was raising money to help the person pay it, which was very cool. And this person tweeted, "This seems pretty suspect. You're probably pocketing it to pay your lawyer," which is extremely fucked up.
The lawyer, because Indira is being like charged with some bullshit about protesting.
She's
right?
being sued
Yeah,
by
yep.
2 police
Sued,
officers.
that's right. Yeah.
Sick as fuck.
Very
Disgusting.
stupid.
Yeah.
Very stupid. And then Indira tweeted about the importance of student debt relief. And she tweeted, "Now attend a neighborhood meeting, lazy ass," which is, again, fucked up. It's ableist. And Indira goes to fuckloads of community meetings because I have seen her there. And I assume that this person is talking about neighborhood associations, which is ACAB includes neighborhood associations. So fuck you. This person tweets a lot at Ale, who we hope to have on here, and we
Oh,
absolutely
we should
love
probably
them.
do that soon, huh?
Yeah.
We should do that soon.
That election's
Yes.
coming up.
Yeah.
Apologies to Alejandro. We love you. So constantly trolling Kimberly Graham a lot, calling her a clown. And then just lots and lots and lots of tweets at Mike Franken. And they all start after the date of the kiss. Sucking your own dick, you haven't processed it. Like anyone can choose amount. I don't even know what. And then she tweeted in June, "Do you think Abby for Iowa knows she's going to lose to a carpetbagger and walking me to Franken for Iowa yet?"
Oh, wow.
We like
Which would
that
really
one.
make
Our 2 favorite candidates.
Yeah. So, great. It's a staple of the fair, hepatitis B.
Wait, what?
Apparently, yeah, it doesn't really make a lot of sense.
I don't know what that means either. I think it's because it's.
I think she's
Yeah,
just
I don't
saying. I think it's
fucking
more people who go to the fair are dirty shit. Pretty much in line with all the
Okay.
stuff that you've
Classist.
already talked about. Yeah,
Yeah, just like bullshit. It's like not funny. It's just like fucked up. Just like making it all the counts so you can yell at everyone who's to the left of you and you can be racist without being called out by name. And like, I don't know, but it doesn't change that she's telling the truth about what happened to her. And there's no reason to not believe her. It doesn't change the fact that she's a victim and then is also a perpetrator of bullying. And, it's just like people are complicated and we have to defend victims even when they are imperfect, and honestly, especially when they're imperfect. And I also think it's like kind of interesting, and I hope it makes this person think that the people who are really stepping up to bat for her are like Jalen, who has every
people
reason
who
to
you were
not do
trolling.
so because she has been racist as fuck to him and cruel, and he has never done anything to her except defend the vulnerable people in his community. It's gross. But the people standing up for you are the exact people that you made a troll account to go and tell to fuck themselves. But Jalen is standing up for her anyway because it's the right thing. And I really hope that she thinks about that and changes her behavior in the future.
Does our invitation to have her on still stand?
I don't think so. I also think it's funny because she knew who I was and I did not know who she was. She is clearly like deeply online, and so am I, so it's odd. But she clearly knew exactly who I was when I was reaching out to her. I really do believe that people should be allowed to tell their own stories, so I wanted to give her the chance to. I understand why not, but she did know who I was and clearly dislike me. But she was really nice to me when we were talking. I just know that she would dislike me from our politics and everything I'm seeing here. And also, I did Photoshop her father into a Hogwarts hat when he endorsed Laura Roan. And she pointed that out. And I apologized and took it down, but I'm not sorry. It was funny.
Yeah. That is really funny now, because that was before you knew that she had the Stella G account.
Correct. Yeah, so she was like, no hard feelings, we have a goofy name, but you like said he had a Hogwarts ass name and said Francis Bogus Irish American Wizard or something.
Yeah.
And honestly, I shouldn't have deleted it. I was right.
Yeah. Well, she didn't ask you to delete it. I think like
No.
the that would have been extremely hypocritical of her.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. So I think people are complicated, and I think she is both a perpetrator and a victim, and that doesn't make it any less professional what Mike Franken did, and it doesn't make it any more wrong to defend what he did.
I think you want to switch the words more and less in what Natalie just said, but
Yeah, you got
you
it.
get it. You know what she means.
You get it.
I'm talking about toilet paper USA now.
Yeah. I think we've said what needs to be said about that. Like, I mean, Kim is clearly telling the truth about what happened to her, and Franken was going to lose anyway. So really, you don't need to debase yourself and just say how much you don't care what women say about what happens to them. Like, to what end? What do you hope to gain from this? Like, she's clearly telling the truth. Stop being an idiot.
Truly.
I think Abby should jump back in.
Yeah.
I mean, the contrast between her and Grassley is just too much to ignore.
I mean, like, and this is also one of those times where, like, Kimberly Bogus might not see your tweets, but your friends who have been kissed by their bosses will. Like, that's honestly true. Like, you're gonna, if you are, like, tweeting, like, that you don't believe her, and that she is, like, a money-grubbing whore or whatever bullshit I see all these freaks on the internet say, like, you know, your women friends know not to talk to you. Like, you are known as an unsafe person. You don't want to be that. Don't become that. You want to be a person people feel like they can go to you. I don't know. Just stop being gross and take the fucking Ukraine flag out of your Abby freaks. I'm so sick of it.
All right. So, Toilet Paper USA. Evan brought it up. Obviously, we dislike Turning Point USA quite a bit. We've talked about their campaign to sort of establish themselves on college campuses all across the country and high school campuses, as happened in Johnston earlier this year. We covered the podcast of a high school child who was trying to establish
I don't know if we ever.
chapter.
He won. They did approve it.
Yeah.
I don't know if we ever mentioned that or not, but
Yeah, I don't remember either. But yeah, he got what he wanted. That little shithead.
Yep.
So in recent TPUSA in Iowa news, Benny Johnson, who is a disgraced journalist who was fired from BuzzFeed for plagiarism, and now is some kind of meme curator for TPUSA or something.
That's so stupid. I never heard of this person.
That's like every conservative group does that. You gotta have the director of meme warfare or whatever.
Yeah.
Because the libs can't meme or whatever.
That's his thing, 100%. He just did an event at the University of Iowa last week called Meme Wars, or the Meme War, or something like that. I actually found out he is from Cedar Rapids. So, Benny, if you're listening, you are welcome to come on the show.
Yeah, on the panel with Ashton Kutcher.
But he did this thing where he was, as far as I can tell, just showing a bunch of memes on a projector to a small room of the worst college students. and somebody, there's a short video, which is still Benny's pinned tweet right now. Somebody stood up kicked the projector over and stormed out of the room and yelled, this shit's racist, fuck you, or something like that. And obviously he is milking this for all it's worth. I was concerned about, this person who kicked the projector over, because there's also a video of him being arrested later that night. So I found his contact info, I reached out to him, and this is what I got back from him. This is part of what he said. I'm not sure how much of the student body knows what actually happened, but if the information they are getting is from conservatives on Twitter, they are spreading false information about what happened that night. The best way to help is to shut down any misinformation about what happened. What they're saying is that I walked into the event and destroyed the projector and then left. So this guy's main concern is that he's being lied about, and he just wants the full context to be out there. So I figured we could say a little bit about what happened on the show and do our part there to help him out, because I found out he is also from Cedar Rapids and went to our high school. So there's no one we owe more to than graduates of Washington High School.
Go Warriors!
Yeah. That's what real solidarity is about.
Yeah.
People who went to our high school.
Justin, what was your joke about? He got charged with like a 5th degree misdemeanor, and what was your joke? Like, when it's a 5th degree, it's basically...
when you go to a funeral and don't cry.
It's like 5th degree murderous.
Yeah.
I've been murdered. 5th degree criminal mischief.
Yeah. So he gave me contact info for some other people who were there who could give me a little bit more of their eyewitness testimony. So here's a little bit from this first person. Before Travell is the guy who kicked the projector. Before Travell went up and kicked the projector, at the very beginning of the event, he had respectfully asked Beneful a question about people deserving a living wage. Now, this person keeps calling Benny Beneful. This was, I think it's a joke I'm not aware of. Beneful appears to be a brand of dog food.
Yeah.
Yes.
Purina Beneful.
Yeah. So I think there's some kind of Wikipedia vandalism campaign to claim that Benny Johnson's full name is Beneful, which I support 100%. I just didn't get the joke when it was in this email. So Travell asked Benny about people deserving a living wage. Benny refused to answer the question and shut down any attempt at discussion. For the next while, Benny played several memes negatively and stereotypically depicting Latino people. At one point, Travell stated to the people nearby that if he plays any more racist shit, I'm going to go kick that projector.
He was warned.
Yeah, all fair in the meme wars. Come on.
Yeah. And before Travell even said that, apparently there were TPUSA college student members pointing their phone cameras at Travell and the other people who I was talking to here. So they were prepared for provoking some kind of reaction like this.
I wonder if they targeted them maybe because of skin color or something like that. I wonder, seems like that might have something to do with it.
Yeah. I don't think I mentioned it, but if you've seen the video, it is a black guy who kicks the projector, which is part of the whole shit that Benny's stirring up is look at this
he's violent.
Scary leftist who's attacking me.
Exactly,
yeah. Look at this soy boy leftist who I'm also extremely afraid of and would never confront in reality when only on the internet.
I mean, he had the opportunity to confront him right there, didn't he?
I know, he definitely did.
Yeah, he does the Fash thing of this is a weak little bitch who's also a super monster who's attacking me.
Yep.
Okay, and the second person gave me a little bit more context. They approached Benny prior to the beginning of the event to take pictures with him as a joke for later. Benny made it pretty clear in our initial interaction and at the beginning of his speech that he immediately recognized why we were there. To make fun of him. In other words, he could tell simply based on appearances that we held opposing moral and political beliefs.
Why is that?
Part of that appearance, I believe, is skin color, yes. Throughout the beginning of his speech, our group repeatedly mocked him from the back of the room, but our jovial attitude soon turned to uneasiness as Benny began talking about the recent migrant situation in Martha's Vineyard. The memes he showed us repeatedly featured mariachi music and curly black mustaches. You can see this in the video. Clearly with the intent of making fun of the Mexican immigrants involved in the situation. He also lauded Rob DeSantis. Isn't that Ron DeSantis?
Yeah.
It's funny to call him Rob. For shipping these immigrants to Martha's Vineyard solely to prove a point about his political opponents. And then we get to, like, right before the projector is kicked, and he shows a meme of, like, a bus approaching Kamala Harris or some shit. And I just liked this sentence. Benny stood behind his podium and laughed to himself quietly, as he had for all the other memes.
What a loser.
What an exciting event.
You're really going to like this next one.
Show racist memes for a small group of loser college students.
God.
Yeah.
That's the stupidest thing I ever heard. I don't even like admitting I know what a meme is in public on a recording. I hate this.
I hate saying the word meme.
Right.
It's just it debases everyone to do this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so the projector is kicked. Benny seemed to lose his composure and began speaking angrily, arguing with my girlfriend about the validity of Travell's reaction and claiming that his actions represented the hypocrisy and tyranny of all people with left-leaning beliefs in America. He also specifically addressed us as he said this, believing us to be liberals when we are in fact not.
If all leftists, wanted to shut down, conservative meme lords speaking truth to power, why would Justin and I have laughed at the Mike Pence rally when they showed a video of Joe Biden falling down the stairs?
That's right. Oh, yeah, and I should say I wanted to attend this meme war thing, but I had to go to a funeral. So unfortunately, I myself did not witness these events.
Oh, I wish you had.
Yeah,
Wow, priorities.
A little bit more from our second eyewitness here. Benny Johnson has lied on social media that the projector was smashed to pieces in order to make it appear as if Travell caused more damage than he really did. The only real damage to the projector was that one of the small rubber legs fell off.
That's where the 5th degree criminal mischief comes in.
Yeah. No other visible or functional problems were found. And then this is the last bit, which I think kind of frames the whole thing. Benny absolutely wanted something like this to happen, so he could frame it through his "the left can't meme" lens for his conservative audience. He was provoking us throughout the event, directly addressing us from the podium to the rest of the audience repeatedly as he profiled and patronized us. His massive platform has allowed him to manipulate the facts and spread them far faster than we could have ever gotten the truth out.
I think it's cool what he did.
Yeah, I have no problem with that.
I think he should have broke
kicked
it.
a projector.
Yeah, who the fuck cares? Shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Wussy losers. Babies.
Yeah.
Sometimes in a war, things get kicked.
When I first saw the video, I was like, man, he has to be so happy that something interesting happened at this stupid speech.
Yeah.
And like it's never acknowledging the violence that this kind of rhetoric stokes. Like it's always like kicking a projector is violence, but like stoking a genocidal sentiments against Latino people is not. Like, fuck you. That's way more violent.
That's how you know they're not liberals, because a liberal would be like, well, I disagree, but he has the right to put the mariachi band memes up on the projector.
No, he doesn't. I mean, I think
and
it
harass
should
us and his audience.
Even if they weren't racist, I think meme slideshows should be a crime. But
yeah, this is like an institution of higher learning.
Yeah.
Why is this being booked?
So was it through the Department of Meme Studies? Like, what is this?
It's because they're also fucking scared of these guys. They're like scared of the big stupid stink they'll make if they can't do their little meme slideshows.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
And its free speech implications.
Yeah. This is shockingly similar to that Mike Pence event that Stella and I went to, which was like at least 60 to 70% about campus culture and how like free speech is under attack. Yeah.
I do not care about free speech. People should have more consequences for their words, I think. Let's free speech. The speech is flowing too freely in America. People are just saying whatever. I don't support it.
That's the double-edged sword. You gotta be careful on that one. As a podcaster.
I think the issue is that it's a bit of a single-edged sword right now, and we need to sharpen the other edge of the sword.
Yeah.
But yeah, this guy Travell did not hurt a single living creature in his response to a series of stupid racist memes. He said he was going to kick the projector if you showed another racist meme, and then you did, and then he kicked the projector.
Sounds like you were warned. I don't know. It sounds like Castle Doctrine or something.
Yeah.
He said all you have to do is say it.
Yeah. So I figured, we could at least spread some word of the larger context of that event and try to help a little bit, since that is his main concern, is that, the narrative has been controlled by Beneful Johnson.
Yeah, what high school did dog food guy go to?
I have not found that information, so he may not be one of us.
Jefferson. Wait.
I don't know. Sounds like a Kennedy or a
Mar.
Xavier.
Xavier.
I was actually gonna say Xavier first, but I don't know if it existed back then.
It was like
he's only 3 years older than us. He was born in
he's
87.
not that old.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, so Xavier, probably.
Wouldn't be surprised.
Losers.
If you listen to this show and you went to high school with Benny Johnson, please get in touch with us and tell us stories of what he was like then. Well, I think we've covered the news. I would like to ask our listeners, voting ends in Little Village's Best of the Krandik Awards on September 30th. So time is running out. It would be great if you went to that Best of the Krandik page, voted for Hard Caucus for Best Local Podcast, because, obviously, who else would you consider to be the best local podcast? It's got to be
Clean
us
Water?
again, right?
No. Dumb. Stupid.
That's not true. You should listen to that one. There's got to be a lot other worse podcasts. I know for a fact that there are, actually.
Yeah.
In fact, I think one of our former teachers is on a really awful podcast, which really vindicates me because he really didn't like me because I didn't do his dumb college level thesis for a high school English class.
He didn't like me either, and that thesis killed me.
I know.
It was the worst experience of my life.
It was awful.
Other than that, I think the only thing that I wanted to plug is if you are in a band or you make any kind of music at all, I would like to put it at the end of a future episode of this podcast. So please send us your music. Thanks.
Yeah. And you got to end this one with Plies ran off onto plug twice, because I just been thinking I've been vibing at the Ritz-Carlton the entire... I'm sure no one else knows that song except for me, but when I heard that
the Benny Hill song, whenever you say Benny Johnson.
Yakety sax?
Yeah.
Okay.
Can you do a mashup?
Yeah, I think I'll do both.
I think it's Megan for a mashup.
Oh no. The way Benny spells his daughter's name.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Is it like beneficious or like
little nugget at the very end. Benny Johnson does have a website and it's bad. So it's bennyjohnson.com. In the upper left-hand corner, there's a cartoon of his face. As you scroll down, there's an image of him wrapped in the American flag. Naturally, he says, despite his sizable online presence, Benny also loves engaging in person. He has a fondness for expressive clothing and has become an onstage fixture at Turning Point's youth outreaches, often participating in larger-than-life sketches to the delight of younger audiences.
Oh, my God. There has to be a scandal brewing with this guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Red flag. Though gifted with a large personality, Benny is a man of simple tastes. He prefers to spend his free time with his wife, Kate, and his daughter, Eloise. Eloise is spelled like I've never seen it before. He enjoys sitting down with a glass of whiskey and a pipe, preferably after a meal featuring as much meat as he can fit on the grill. Benny, I'm worried about your colon health, man.
I'm not.
Oh,
Don't
no.
worry about it. Eat all that
There's
meat
a
you
store on the website.
can. Never
Oh,
ever think
no.
about your personal health, Benny.
Oh no. Oh my god, the merch. The merch, you guys. He's got this shirt that says the left can't meme. $30.
Cried
Another
Margaret with the little doodle of his face. Baby lives matter.
1776 with a picture of an automatic rifle.
Very original. All this so original.
Yeah.
Definitely hasn't been done 400 times.
You can get half that shit in Walmart.
Yeah.
Why
Oh
do
my
I
God,
care
if-
if the left can meme or not? I don't find that to be valid. I'm fine. I'm losing the meme wars. I've never made a meme. I don't want to make a meme. That's a stupid pastime.
Well, we
Oh
know
my
that all of the
gosh.
engagement that TPUSA gets on social media is all just organic, and it's all because it's such high quality content. It's not
Yeah.
not at all having like
That
billions
tant.
just injected into it by
Yeah.
87-year-old billionaire freaks.
One final little image I'd like to leave you guys with. So when you're on the Benny Johnson website in the shop section, there's a collection called The Thug Life. And Benny is personally modeling some t-shirts. In one photo, he has a cigar that he's smoking. One is Ron DeSavage, which
Oh,
has
God.
a feature of like a beefed up DeSantis, the Dawn with Donald Trump, and then another shirt that says Supreme with a picture of Clarence Thomas.
Whoa.
In sunglasses.
The Supreme Clarence Thomas collaboration. I didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah, it's like the
Oh my
it's like
God.
the Biggie fonts and stuff, and then the Godfather, and so
This guy is
stupid.
odious. I want to kick him. He's
Yeah.
lucky just his projector got kicked.
See if you can break one of his rubber legs.
I'm just vibing in the wrist card. Got the stick, all the wrist cards. Counting the meal, right the wrist card. Wanna fuck me, baby, pull up at the wrist card. I'm just vibing in the wrist card. Got the stick, all the wrist cards. Counting the meal, right the wrist cards. Wanna fuck me, baby, pull up at the wrist card. Everything gon' be brand new. Call her back like all she ran through. Say she want me, take the wrong off. Don't let me in when I ain't on the bitch knocking on.
God, I'm just having so many fucking technical difficulties. My headset died. And
Oh,
so
okay.
now I need my input to come from the speakers, but I need to plug in my headphones.
We can hear you
Yeah.
great now.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can hear me great, but I'm recording all of us.
Your recording is going to be a fucking mess, but oh well.
My recording, no, I just go, my recording's a fucking mess. Okay.